God started us on our way. God clothed us in our right mind. And I hope and pray that all our limbs are working properly. But we know last night, millions of people prayed similar prayers that we prayed. But they didn't wake up this morning. Their mind wasn't regulated. Their limb wasn't working properly. That's the way life is. That's what free will is. Free will is for God told you that you weren't going to be able to save yourself. God told you that you couldn't be holy without him. God told you that you can't be righteous without him. Right? Jesus tell you in the gospel, he said, I am the vine, and ye are the branches. It says, as long as the branch abide in the vine. See, that's conditional. As long as the branch abide in the vine. As long as the branch is connected to the vine, everything that the branch needs, the vine is going to provide it as long as you stay attached to the vine. See, in order for you to go where Christ go and to speak the way Christ speak, you got to abide in the vine. You got to go by the rules, and you got to go by the regulation, and you got to go by the condition of the vine. You don't have to focus on everything in the world like Jesus and God do. All you have to focus on is the vine. That's all. The Bible says, in order for you to come to Christ, God has got to first draw you to Christ. See, preachers and deacons and mothers is trying to draw you to Christ. But can't no deacon, preacher, or mother draw you to Christ? The only somebody is God. Is the only one that have the ability to draw you to Christ. And once God decide on who he gonna draw to Christ, God is gonna take that person and he gonna tell them, my son or my daughter, I want you to do something for me. He said, if you sanctify yourself, that means quit doing your evil deeds and helping people instead of trying to hurt people. Build up and try instead of trying to tear down. Love instead of trying to hate. He said, if you sanctify yourself, I got something for you. So you decide that I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to get back to respect. I'm going to get back to love. I'm going to get back to joy. And I'm going to get back to long suffering. And I'm going to get back to building up instead of tearing down. Strengthen where weak. Support them in the doctor's office. Support them when behind prison bars or in jail. Support don't mean the same thing for everybody. Sometimes support is when you say no. That's what they call tough love, tough support. Some people need tough love. The Bible says that there is no lie in the truth. Now, no matter how good a person lie, that lie can never lead to the truth. Never. Unless God is a liar. But I know he's not. And there is no truth in a lie. You can't lie on the truth. You can lie about the truth. You can lie about the person that told the truth. But you can't lie on the truth because there's evidence out there to truth. Sometimes thousands of people see truth. Sometimes millions of people, if you're watching TV, you can see truth all around the world. So good people, it's always going to come with a true report. And an evil person is always going to come and bring an evil report. The parable of the 5 talents is a perfect example. What a parable is taking a heavenly thing, bringing it down to earthly understanding. That's all it is. It's God empowers someone to look at this heavenly thing and give the intelligence to bring that thing down to like where a 5-year-old can understand. Even a fool, the Bible says, even a fool should be able to understand. You don't need to know and go to college and get great education to know right and wrong. You know if somebody come up and punch you in your face, you ain't never went to school. You don't know how to read and write. You know somebody punch you in the face. You know that's evil. And everybody that saw it, that's good people, is going to say that was an evil act. So when you're talking about all this education and all this old bull, that ain't got nothing to do with God. God have built his education that he wants you to know. He done put that in you. God told you when Christ came, he said, I'm not going to write my laws upon 2 tables of stone like I did with Moses on Mount Sinai. He said, under the new covenant, which we are, anything that came after Christ went to the cross and went to hell and went back to heaven, anything outside of that is the new covenant. I was born into the covenant. My mother was a covenant keeper. My father was a covenant keeper. My auntie, my cousins, my children, we was born into the covenant. Moses, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they died before the promise came. So they was lost back there in the old covenant because of the law. But Jesus told them that greater days was going to come. And when Christ died on the cross, he died for a reason. He died so he can go to hell and set the captives free. When he went to hell, he fulfilled all the prophecy that was prophesied about him. Remember how it started with Ahaz. A virgin. This is how it started. This is the promise of a coming Messiah. A virgin shall conceive, and she shall bring forth a son, and she shall call his name Emmanuel. And Emmanuel being interpreted, it says that God is with us. So if we accept Christ as our own personal Savior, that meant that God is with us. And he have appointed Christ if you accept him or believe in his name. And in your heart, in your mind, and soul, you confess Christ as the Messiah. See, once you done did that, you've been adopted into Abraham's seed. And if you've been adopted into Abraham's seed, you've been adopted into the promise. And if you are adopted and you become a son, and Abraham is dead, we become an heir to the promise. Now that you heir, that means that you are no different than a Jew. There's no more Jew or Gentile. There is no more male and female. There just ain't no more of that stuff. Because we are all one now. Under the headship of Christ, we are all one. There's no more circumcision and uncircumcision. There's no more male and female. There's no more bond or free. There's no more Jew or Gentile. We are all children of the Most High God. We're not separated no more. The only way that we can survive, the only way that we can get in the kingdom, we must be attached to the vine. If you get hewn down and tied into bundles to be tossed into the fire, that means that you done lost salvation. When God say, my reaper is going to go in and they're gonna prune the grape. They're going to pull up the tare first and then bind them to be burned. But they're going to gather the wheat into his barn. See, the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. He told his servant to go out early in the morning and bring some workers in. Then by noontime, they needed more workers. And then with 1 hour left in the day, they still needed more workers to finish up. The harvest was truly great. But the laborers are few. He talking about the preachers. He talking about the deacons. He talking about the mothers. And you are the harvest. But God said there's few laborers. The people that's supposed to be doing God's work. The people that's supposed to be letting Christ lead them and guide them in the way they should go. Let me tell you who is a liar, and a big liar on top of that. I don't care what race you is. You go around lying to the American people like there is no one above the law. I'm going to prove to you tonight that that's all a lie, and that's all a bunch of bull. People see you. People know you. Since the 1300s, you've been doing this evil and no good stuff. Loving people, loving country, you just going around destroying because of greed and lust and power. All through the whole 4 years that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was president and vice president. They got open borders. They want to turn this into a Muslim country. They want to deny white people their true leader and headship. You met the same people that you want us to respect that came here and slaughtered the Native Americans? Did they care about the Native Americans? Did they care about the Native American children? Did they care about the Native American women that they raped and they killed? Where was the love for what they call the savages that was here? Where was the love from these prejudiced white people when they slaughtered the savages, men, women, and children, and burned their village? Is that the love that they want now for themselves? Oh, the gods, they can't even save themselves. Let's alone talking about saving you. All lies. God have exposed all lies. Social media, some things are good about it, and some things are bad about it. But I know a good thing. They finally exposed the hypocrisy of these lying, prejudiced white men. They weak. Just because you can kill somebody, just because you can rob somebody of all their money and all their property, that don't mean you strong. To me, that just means you weak. You couldn't achieve it with good faith. Ashley Babbitt is a woman that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They were breaking the windows in the door to go into the Senate chamber so they can find Mike Pence and hang him, and for them to kill Nancy Pelosi. Think about this. The Christian right, the white evangelicals, they stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They built a gallows outside of the Capitol. And they was screaming on megaphone, "Hang Mike Pence." And Nancy, where are you, Nancy? Where are you? These prejudiced evangelicals, like Franklin Graham, John Hagee, Kenneth Copeland, Creflo Dollar, the same thing that these people is going around worshiping Donald Trump, praying all over him like he's a god, bowing the knee down to Donald Trump like he's a god, knowing that he stood in the Rose Garden on the camera and looked up into the sky and put his hand in the sky and said that he's the chosen one. The only one that could save us is him. They bowed the knee to Baal. God is going to expose them all. God is going to bring them all down. And he's not going to do it with a gun or a sword. He's going to do it with his word. Ashley Babbitt was breaking into the Senate chamber, and there was a Capitol Police on the other side of the door. And they just pounding on the door. They just pounding on the door until they finally got the glass broke. Then little Ashley Babbitt, they helped her up to the window. They put her through the window. Now, she's getting ready to go into the Senate chamber And that Capitol Police have no choice but to stop her. The godly thing to do and the thing that he was hired to do was to stop her, and he did. He shot her dead. Amen. He a hero. He's not a villain. He did exactly what God wanted him to do, to put a bullet in her. She didn't have no right to try to overthrow the Constitution. She didn't have no right. She became a traitor of the United States of America as soon as she attacked the Capitol, the people's house. And when Donald Trump became president, we talking about a woman that's a traitor to the United States, that broke into the Capitol and was getting ready to go through a broken window into the Senate chamber. That officer had no choice but to blow her away. I'm with him. God with him and Christ with him. He did what he was hired and what he got paid to do. He a hero. He helped save us. And we turned our back on him. Let me tell you what the evil president did. The so-called dictator or so-called king. All those people that broke into the Capitol, all those people that beat police with flagpoles, with baseball bats, sprayed them with bear spray. They beat one Capitol police, he went home and he killed himself. The other one home, he got beat so bad, he died. Michael Flynn, a 4-star general, he swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America. He's a traitor now. Michael Flynn, he pleaded guilty to 2 charges, lying to the FBI. A 4-star general that we paying his we paying his retirement right now. We got him to where he is. A 4-star general pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI twice. Hypocrite, liars. Would Jesus do that? Would Jesus lie to the authority that the Bible and the Constitution tell you to obey? Michael Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI twice. Now, let me show you what this no-good president is going to do for a convicted felon. Somebody that lied and pleaded guilty twice to lying to the FBI under oath. He's guilty as sin. But look what the no good president and the MAGA do. They gave Ashley Babbitt parents of taxpayer money, of our money. At the same time, he cutting education. He cutting free lunches. He cutting Medicaid to help poor people go to the nursing home. He cutting grants to colleges that people got good grades, but they just can't afford to go. He started a war for no reason under false pretenses where he's spending over $1 billion a day. That's not going to do nothing for us. It ain't going to feed us. It ain't going to put no clothes on our back. It ain't going to give us no house to live in. He did it for Netanyahu in Israel. The UN voted that the worst tragedy that ever happened in this world Well, when the prejudiced white man came to Africa and stole the Africans away from their families and erased their history, the UN 123, 52 exchange and 3 said no. You know who those 3 countries was that said that African, they don't deserve to be human beings? That African Americans don't deserve to be treated like good old white folks? You know what the 3 countries is? It's the country that Donald Trump gave $40 billion to, Argentina. You know what the other one is? The one that we've been giving billions and billions and billions of dollars to? Israel, Netanyahu. Those 3 countries don't believe that black people is equal. Argentina, you know Argentina got a dictator. Trump love him. Netanyahu in Israel is a dictator. Those are not Jews. Out of Egypt have I called my son. Netanyahu's parents originated from Poland. Pure white. Netanyahu ain't no Jew. Netanyahu is a European. Netanyahu is indicted, and Trump was indicted. And Argentina has got a dictator. That's who Trump running with. Dictators. But the Constitution tell us that we can't have a dictator here. We can't have a king. What that means is if anybody tried to become a dictator and anybody tried to become a king, we got every right to stop them by any means necessary. That's what it said. Go read it. You pledge your allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisibly with liberty and justice for all. You swore an oath as an American citizen that you would protect the Constitution against any terrorist, whether foreign or domestic. We have a domestic terrorist act going on in America right now. America is ran by someone that's prejudiced, and they hate black and brown people, and they hate good white people that think that black and brown people is just as important as white people. No better, but just as important. So the Bible tells us whenever we come up against traitors, whenever we come up against somebody that's trying to overthrow your Constitution, the Constitution is us. The Constitution is of the people. It's by the people, and it's for the people. All the money that's being spent, that's our money. That's not Donald Trump no money. That's our money. They just hired to oversee how the money is being allocated. We are the money. We are the money. The Constitution is of the people, by the people, for the people. We pay the president to do his job. We pay the vice president to do their job for everybody. Congress is not on the black and the brown people's side right now. The MAGA and the Congress is against us. They're using our money to have a good time, to buy big old expensive jets, to spend $9 million in 1 month just on seafood, lobster, and shrimp and crabs. $9 million they spent in 1 month. Just living it up and laughing at us while we suffering. 77 million people voted for this evil. I'll never forgive them for it as long as I live. As a man of God, someone that will try to starve children that going to school just because they poor and the color of their skin. Anybody that will cut a grant to a smart, brilliant black kid just because their family is poor. Someone that will cut the SNAP program, where that's food stamp, where people buy food just to survive. To cut Medicaid for people that can work 40 or 50 or 60 years. Now they're too old and they don't have no resources and they don't have no family member to be able to take care of them. You cut their Medicaid so you can give the money to the multi-billionaires and the multi-millionaires. You give them a tax cut and you give us a tax increase. The poorer you are, the poorer you're going to become under that big, beautiful bill that they did. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I ain't the one that just jump up and do something. In order for me to get to this point a year ago, God had to speak to me in some kind of matter that I would change the whole course of my life, and I would dedicate myself for a time just like this. With no great reward, by the way. But because I love God and I accept Jesus Christ as my own personal Savior. And I believe that Jesus can lead me and guide me in the way that He would have me to go. See, justice under the Constitution is supposed to be blind. That's why when you go into the judicial system, they assign you a number. That when my brother was in prison, see 12184. So when they want you, and they want you for a specific person, they look at your C number, whatever number assigned to you. That C number is just like a social security number or a driver's license. Your picture's on the card and your C number's on the card. And they look at your ID and they look at the picture, and then they know that you are really the person. So Ashley Babbitt got shot down, and Trump became president, and he pardoned like 1,500 people that broke into the Capitol, that at least 5 police died from it by suicide or by being beat to death and died the next day. And Michael Flynn was part of the people that planned and plotted the January 6th riot. Billy Graham loved him. John Hagee loves him. They love him. The MAGA people love him. Mike Huckabee loves him. Those are white evangelicals, knowing that Michael Flynn is a liar, knowing that he's a thief. He pleaded guilty to the FBI lying to them twice. He pleaded guilty to it twice. Now Trump ordered the DOJ, even though he filed a $10 million lawsuit. It was dropped, dismissed, without merit. Now Trump have ordered the DOJ, Pam Bondi, to pay him $1.25 million of our tax dollars to reward him for his corruption and loyalty to Trump. Think about this. How stupid can you be? How ignorant can you be when everything is right there in your face and everything is a matter of record? It is a fact that Mike Flynn pleaded guilty for lying to the FBI twice. It's a fact that Trump ordered. You know, Congress is the only one that controls the purse. So just by Trump doing that alone, he's a traitor to America. He's a traitor to the Constitution, because Congress is the only one that controls the purse string. And Congress is the one that makes laws. And Congress is the one that declares war. So when you support somebody like Trump and saying what he's doing is right, I know instantly that you ain't nothing but a liar. I know instantly that you a hypocrite. I know instantly that you are fake, you are phony, and you a fraud. Mike Lindell lost his whole business that was flourishing. He gave up MyPillow to follow after Trump. Just think about that. He was already a multi-millionaire. And he gave all it up to be a con man. Michael Flynn worked his way all the way up to a 4-star general. 1 star away from a 6-star general. Greatly respected. He gave it all up to lie to the FBI twice to protect President Trump. And Donald Trump got back into office. Now he done authorized the DOJ to pay Michael Flynn $100.25 million of your taxpayer money to reward him for his corrupt loyalty. John Hagee, Franklin Graham, Mike Huckabee, is lifting up Satan, worshiping him, pretending like he's the chosen one. Now tell me, you that go to church, you claim that you believe in God. You know if you lied to the FBI twice, you become a felon. That means that you can't carry no gun. You're not supposed to be able to vote. You can't get a job at a bank. You can't even be a janitor at a school. But you're going to take Mike Flynn that lied to the FBI twice to protect Donald Trump, to sue us for $10 million, and the case get tossed out, and the president order without Congress, he orders the DOJ to pay him $1.25 million of our taxpayer dollar money to reward him for his loyalty to Trump. The federal government is working as a racketeering organization. Senator Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is putting his life on the line. He's putting everything on the line. He's putting his family in danger. He a United States senator. He spent all them years in the House. He was part of the impeachment of Donald Trump. I believe Adam Schiff. I believe that Donald Trump is a thug. The federal government, he's running the federal government as a racketeering organization. But you still won't believe. You still support him. Because he believed in you. He believed in the Confederacy. He believed in the Ku Klux Klan. He believed in the Proud Boys. He believed in the Oath Keepers. He believes in the Three Percenters. He believes in the Patriot Front. Those are all the people that's against black and brown people and against white people that's trying to help us get to be free and to get the full opportunity of the Constitution. We at war for our freedom. If they take away the Constitution, black and brown people, we can't vote no more. We won't have freedom of speech no more. We won't have the freedom of the press no more. We won't have the freedom of religion or the right to bear arms or to petition our government or the stage of protest. We won't have that if we let these evil people tear down the Constitution. We gave up our equal rights and we bowed the knee to Baal. I will not bow the knee to Baal. And I recommend you that you don't bow the knee to Baal. This man gave Ashley Babbitt, without Congress, gave Ashley Babbitt family $5 million for trying to overthrow the government on January 6th. He pardoned 1,500 people that try to overthrow the government. And he paying Michael Flynn $1.25 million of our tax dollars for loyalty to Trump. You know where you're going, right? You heading straight to hell. You evil. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You should never call upon the name of the Lord. And America needs to take In God We Trust off that money. It's in lust we trust. And in power we trust. And in money we trust. In lasciviousness we trust. You don't trust in no God. What have I said here tonight? It's a lie. Did Mike Flynn not plead guilty to the FBI twice? Did not Donald Trump take our money and pay off a lady that tried to overthrow the government $5 million? Did not Donald Trump order the DOJ to pay Mike Flynn, a traitor to the United States of America, of our tax dollars, $1.25 million? But he can't feed the hungry kids. He can't give grants to underprivileged kids that got a great education but just don't have the money. He can't give Medicaid to the poor that can work 40 or 50 or 60 years and just can't do it no more. He didn't want to take care of them, but at the same time, he can give $40 billion to Argentina, a dictator country. He can give Israel $17, $18 billion. He can go to war and let our sisters and brothers die on a war that started on a lie. But you can't accept Christ. You can't accept truth. You can't see that you are the problem. Because of hate in your heart and your mind and your soul, you've been blinded. You've been blinded to a lie simply because of your prejudice. Shame, shame, shame on you.